In this video, we're going to cover how this guy was able to hack the Facebook algorithm and get it to suggest his products exponentially more than everyone else's, and how that approach ultimately changed the dropshipping game on Facebook forever. To tell the story, it's important to briefly understand how Shopify dropshipping works with Facebook ads. Typically, people test a bunch of products to see what works well, and then they double down on that. You might run a few different Facebook ads, all to the same product, to test if there's enough interest in it. If you can find a formula that works, then you know that that product's a home run, and you can start testing more ad variations. If it doesn't, then move on to something else. As your product starts selling and you begin to scale, your ROAS, also known as your return on ad spend, or your cost to profitably purchase traffic to your products, goes up significantly. The two main reasons for that are usually because competitors start to realize that your product is working for you and it begins to get more saturated. And as you scale your ad budget, it's tough to remain as profitable. And larger amounts of traffic tend to cost more as they extrapolate. But Luke took a different approach, and it paid off big time for him. He didn't focus mainly on differentiating his product. He didn't focus on differentiating his ad creatives, but he did differentiate his ad approach. Still to this day, if you take a look at most Facebook ads, or really ads anywhere, the comment section is usually filled with people hating on it that are annoyed because they constantly see that ad in their feed, or people voicing their interest in the product. What most people do is hide the bad comments for fear that they might deter potential customers from buying. And then they'll respond to the positive comments with something along the lines of, yeah, feel free to purchase it, or click the buy now button to get one. But Luke realized that that rarely works. It's short-sighted and it's a major missed opportunity. Instead of using the same approach that everybody else had, he used the comment section to foster more conversation and controversy. If someone commented something bad, he left it, understanding that any engagement is positive for the ad as long as it's not being reported. And if somebody commented something good, he would respond back, asking for more information and to keep the conversation going. His team used several dummy accounts to achieve this. In an interview recently, he even gave the example of selling something in the pet niche and how he was able to use this approach to perfection. When someone would comment on the ad he was running, he'd have dummy accounts spark conversation with them. One person might ask what kind of dog a commenter had to spark that conversation about how they love that breed so much. One might comment a picture of their dog, which would inevitably get dozens of responses saying how cute it was. And then one person might even comment on those specific posts and pictures saying something like, that dog is so ugly, or why would you ever get that breed, which would obviously get people fired up and arguing back and forth with an account that they didn't realize was just trying to elicit that reaction from them. And all this extra engagement signaled to Facebook that this ad was extremely successful and captivating, simply because they had much more engagement than all the other ads at that same spend and size. So they began to suggest it much more and for much cheaper. And he was able to scale it to astronomically high amounts with historically low CPCs and CPMs, or cost per clicks and cost per thousand views. And that is how Luke Belmar broke the Shopify dropshipping game on Facebook, revolutionized it forever, and tricked the company into feeding his ads to hundreds of millions of people for dirt cheap. In a recent interview, he even said that he had one of the top performing ads ever using this method on the platform. Ultimately, though, the way he achieved this was by thinking differently and not following exactly what everybody else in the space was doing. I gave several other examples of how you can do this in the video that's up on the screen right now if you're interested. Because the truth is, if you want to make big waves, you can't be scared to try new things and to be original. Otherwise, you'll just be a worse copy of everyone else.